Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's your host, ID Jester. We're going to do something, I think it's going to be really interesting here. I'm hoping it's going to be really interesting. What I'm going to be doing is going through the Board Game Geek top 200 games. And I'm going through in each section of 10 games. And I'm only going to get to keep one of those 10 games. Which, it doesn't sound like that big a deal. You get one game of 1 out of 10, but you're going to have to make some really tough choices, I think. It's just looking at the top 20 and 30 games, it's really hard. And of course, the more games you play, the more games you like, the more games you've tried, the more games you want to keep. So, that's what we're going to do. So, like from 1 to 10, I'm only going to be able to keep one of those top 10 games. And the way I'm going to rank these, or not rank them, but the way I'm going to keep them is I'm going to be using like my overall best strategy to create a collection if I'm going to have to go to a desert island sometime. And I'm going to have these 20 games that I'm going to be keeping. These are the only 20 games that I can go. So I want to have a variety, but I want to have the best of the best. I want to keep them, I want to be able to keep them, keep me interested and keep me entertained for the rest of my life because it's going to be the only 20 games that I'm going to get. So let's get to it and see how easy or tough this is going to be. And here we go. So again, we're keeping one of every 10 games from the list. And you don't get to choose like, oh, I'm going to keep this one and this one from 1 to 10. You only get to keep one. So from 1 to 10, you keep one. From 11 to 20, you keep one. From 21 to 30, you keep one. From 31 to 40, you keep one. So, right off the bat, Brass Birmingham. Awesome game. Obviously the best game of all time, according to many people. Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Gloomhaven. Now, Gloomhaven is an interesting thing because that game has got a ton of stuff in the box. It's huge. It's massive. It might keep you entertained for a long time. Ark Nova. Really great game. Twilight Imperium 4th Edition. Super big space conquest games. You could have all kinds of awesome setups. Dune Imperium. You can see I've actually played that 4 different times myself since I started keeping track. Terraforming Mars is number 7. War of the Rings 2nd Edition is number 8. Star Wars Rebellion is number 9. And Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion is number 10. So of these 10, I get to keep one and only one of those 10 games. To be honest, it's actually a pretty tough decision, but it's also kind of easy, because again, I'm choosing these games based upon my going to a desert island. These are going to be the 20 games that I'm going to keep for the rest of my life. They have to be able to be played solo. They have to be able to be played and keep me entertained. They're going to have to give me lots of variability, lots of different options. So I'm going to choose Dune Imperium as my game of choice for the top 10. Dune Imperium. It is actually my number 1 game that I've played the most from that. Coming in a close second would be Brass Birmingham. And I'll say it just like Ruff likes me to say it. Birmingham. Brass Birmingham. So that would be a close second. A Gloomhaven and Ark Nova would come in maybe like tied for third. I would definitely keep those. Pandemic Legacy Season 1, I've never played that. It might be the greatest game ever. I don't know. I just haven't played it. Twilight Imperium, I mean, that would be awesome space battle, but you're gonna, yeah. Terraforming Mars, I just don't see it being the 7th best game of all time. I don't know how it got ranked so high. War of the Rings 2nd Edition is great, but I don't know how well you can play it solo. Star Wars Rebellion, again, great, but I don't know how well you can play it solo. And Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. If I'm going to do that, I would just go with the regular Gloomhaven. All right, let's move on. That's choice number 1 is going to be Dune Imperium. Now we're going to go 11 to 20. Spirit Island, Gaia. Oh, two good games right in a row. Spirit Island, Gaia Project, Twilight Struggle, 3 games in a row. Through the Ages, A Story of Civilization, Great Western Trail, The Castles of Burgundy, Scythe, Eclipse, Second Dawn of the Galaxy, a 7 Wonders Duel, and Brass Lancashire. Well, we missed out on Brass Birmingham. We could pick up Brass Lancashire too. But man, there is so many good games there. Gaia Project, awesome game. Plays great solo, lots of variability. It's probably would be my pick, but it's not. Twilight Struggle, awesome game. And I think this is, it would make it if it played, like if it had like a solo bot, it would probably be my game of choice. But since it doesn't have a solo mode, I'm not going to choose that. I'm going to choose Spirit Island as my game in this section. From 11 to 20, I'm going to choose Spirit Island because it plays great. You can play it solo, one-handed. You can play it with 2 factions. You can play it with 3 factions. You can play it with 4 factions. Lots of variability with all the expansions. So many different spirits. So many different enemies to go up against. So it definitely keep me entertained for many years. Spirit Island. That is going to be that group choice. Next up, 21 to 30, Nemesis. Ooh. Clank Legacy. A Feast for Odin. Concordia. Arkham Horror, the card game. Wingspan. Great Western Trail, 2nd edition. Wow. Terra Mystica. Lost Ruins of Arnak and Frosthaven. Those are, I mean, good God, those are like some of the best games ever in existence. Wingspan, Great Western Trail 2nd Edition, Arkham Horror, the card game. Many people have one of those 3 games as their top game of all time. Concordia, I just picked up Concordia because this is one of these games that fell underneath my radar. And I came across this and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. And it plays great solo. There's all kinds of different maps and expansions you can get for it. Feast of Odin is an all-time classic. I mean, good Lord, there are so many good games in this section. Wise Guy, what's going on, man? We're going to see you tomorrow. Don't forget, 4 o'clock our time. This is a cool idea for a video, and he says that Good Pick Spirit Island is probably the best co-op game out there. Ooh, and he's picking Feast for Odin. No contest, he says. It is probably a really good game. I just haven't played it enough to kind of... I've got it. It's like literally like right here somewhere. Within arm's reach, I could probably grab it. But I think I'm gonna go with Wingspan is my pick of this section. Wingspan. I know a lot of people are poo-pooing Wingspan right now, but I love my card games. I love engine building. I mean, Wingspan at one point was the top 5 game of all time, but a lot of people are kind of down on it now because they've just been burned out on it. But I mean, when you look at the core mechanics and the solo mode, you look at the core mechanics, you look at the variability of what you can do with this game. I've played it 8 times and I probably haven't seen even like a third of the different birds that are in the deck. It's a beautiful game to play. The awesome solo. And if I was going to pick a second game to go with it, it would probably be Arkham Horror. But Wingspan is going to be my pick on this one. Although, you can't go wrong with Great Western Trail either. That's a Terra Mystica. Lost Ruins of Arnak. Now, I watched a video. This is interesting because I played Lost Ruins of Arnak. I've got the expansions. I got everything. And the last time I played it, it fell flat for me, and I just haven't gone back to it. But like the first 3 or 4 times I played it, it was really, really good. So I need to go back and try it again and see if it was just that one scenario I didn't like or whatever, or maybe I was just in a bad mood or tired. Who knows? I should go back and play it. All right, we're moving on. 31-40, Root, Orleans, Too Many Bones, Mage Knight board game, Everdale, Barrage, The Crew, Mission Deep Sea, Vinicultures, Essential Edition, Food Chain Magnet, and Heat Pedal to the Metal. Wow, this is going to be a really easy section for me because I don't do Too Many Bones because it's just a money sink that I'm not getting into. I know a lot of people will say it's a great game and this, that, and the other thing. I don't like it. I can tell, and I'm not going to spend $150 to find out I don't like your stupid game. Orleans, classic game. There is an expansion that'll add a solo mode to it. I've never played Root. This is another one of these ones that I refuse to get into because, you got to get like the 12 expansions and everything, and I'm not going with it. Everdale, I've never played Everdale. Again, it's one of these ones you got to buy into the system and get like 12 expansions. Barrage, I've actually got up on my shelf right up there, but I've never played it, so I can't honestly say that there's anything about this. The Crew Deep Sea Mission is supposed to be awesome, and I just actually picked this up like 2 weeks ago. I just got it. It's still wrapped in the shrink. Viniculture is an awesome, awesome game. Food Chain Magnet I've never played, so I don't know. And then Heat Pedal to the Metal is an awesome game, and I just played it like 2-3 days ago for the first time ever. Really like it. And I think if I played that a few more times, it would probably make the list. But because I've only played it once, I don't know for sure. This is a tough one. It's between Mage Knight and Viticulture for me. It's between Mage Knight and Viticulture. And I'm going to go with Mage Knight, the board game. Mage Knight. I think Viticulture is great. I just think Mage Knight, being solo, stuck on a desert island, you're going to get a lot of variability. You're going to get a lot of play. Lots of different mages to play with. There's just a lot to do with that game. Moving on. 41-50. Wise Guy, 31-40. I'm trying not to read your posts until after I choose because I don't want you to skew my thoughts. But his 31-40 is going to be Mage Knight, still a classic, and Root is a close second. Okay. So 41 is Marvel Champions, the card game. 42 is PAX Premier, second edition. 43 is Underwater Cities. 44, Puerto Rico. 45, Cascadia. 46, Cornhole. 47, Canvernia. 48, Cadmon EV. 49, Anachrony. And 50 is Blood Rage. Okay, this is probably going to be an easy section for me because I've never played this game. I've never played Puerto Rico. I hear a lot of things about it. I've never played Cornhole. Yes, I played it outside. I don't really consider that I guess that's like flicking a disc. Yeah, it's like a dexterity game. I don't know. Let's just say no. And I've never played Blood Rage. So, and I own Anachrony, but I've never played it. And I own Kanban EV, but I've never played it. And I don't know if I've ever played Caverna. If I've played it, it's probably been 10, 15 years ago, so I don't know much about them. So it really comes down to the 3 games that I've played: Underwater City, Cascadia, and Marvel Champions. And I've played Marvel Champions 80 times, and it's definitely going to be the winner for me in this. While I think Cascadia is great, and I love Underwater City, it's just Marvel Champions is going to give you so much bang for your buck. It is amazing. I own everything, and I've only played like maybe half of the heroes and maybe a third of the villains. I've just never even had a chance to even sit down, and I've played it 80 times. So yeah, there's a lot to this game. Moving on. Let's see what Wise Guy did. 41 to 50, he got Pax Premier, number 1 for him. Caverna, number 2. And Kanban EV will likely be first. Lacerda games are great, but I haven't played them in years. I've got every one of his games sitting back there in the shrink, and I just haven't got around to opening them up. 51, On Mars, speaking of the Lacerda games. 52, Pandemic Legacy. 53, Agricola. 54, Sleeping Gods. 55, Pandemic Season 2. 56, another Lacerda game was Boea. 57, Mansions of Madness. 58, Cthulhu Death May Die. 59, Tolkien. And 60, Maracaibo. Wow, this is interesting group, man. If you were just to take these 10, I would say none of them. Like, if I could say, give me one from another group, because, like, yes, there's some great games in here, but a lot of them I've never played. Lisboa, again, it's still in the shrink. I could go walk right back there and bring it to you and show it's still in the shrink. Solkin is great, but I think that would kind of be boring after a little while on a desert island. Maracaibo, I've never played. It's kind of like Great Western Trail, but you're using ships. Sleeping God's an interesting game. Talk about big adventure games. That would be good. On Mars, again, that one's actually not in the shrink, but I've never played it. So I think this is just going to be a very easy pick for me, and it's going to be Cthulhu Death May Die. I think this is an underrated game. 58th best game of all time. I'm surprised. I think it would. I would have thought it would maybe a little bit higher. I think it's a really, really good game. Really underrated good game. 51 to 60, Wise Guy is going with On Mars, then Lisboa. Well, see, I need to get these games out and play them. I just do. Let's move on. 61, Power Grid. 62, Obsession. 63, Grand Austria Hotel. 64, Clans of Caledonia. 65, The Quacks of Quedlinburg. 66, The Hava. 67, Paladins of the West Kingdom. 68, The Gallerist, another Lacerda game. 69, Star Wars Imperial Assault. And 70, Oathsworn. Well, I don't own Oathsworn, so that's not in the running. I don't own Imperial Assault, so that's not in the running. The Gallerist is still in the shrink wrap. The Hava, never played. Quacks of Quedlinburg, never played. Clans of Caledonia, never played. Well, this would be another group that I would love to get a pick from a different group, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of any of these games. To be honest, I played the Paladins of the West Kingdom. It's okay. It's alright. Grand Austria Hotel, I played that once or twice. It's okay. Obsession, people love this game. I bought it. It's very expensive. It's great production, but it's just okay. There's nothing to write home about. Power Grid's okay. I would, I guess if I'm going to keep one of these, what am I going to keep? I did not like Paladins of the West Kingdom. I don't like any of their games, to be honest. I could probably get rid of all of their games. So I'm going to go with Grand Austria Hotel over Obsession. Obsession would be second. Yeah, Power Grid, I don't think that would play very good solo, and I've never played this one or this one or this one. Gallerist is still in the shrink, and I haven't played those two. So, yeah, it's going to be Grand Austria Hotel. Phoenix Knight is going to vote for Imperial Assault. And Wise Guy History is voting for the Gowers. Wow, it's just probably his favorite. I need to get them out of the shrink and get them to the table. I know it. That's why I bought them. I just haven't got around to doing it. 71 to 80. The Crew, Quest for Planet 9. Mercs versus Minions, Android Netrunner, Kingdom Death Monster, Hemejiji, Agricola, Azul, Race for the Galaxy, Five Tribes, and Eclipse, New Dawn for the Galaxy. Okay. That's an interesting group of 10 games again. Got a lot of variability in this one. I don't own Hemejiji, and it just came out in 2023, so I've never played it. Race for the Galaxy, I don't know how well that would play solo. Well, there's just no really, gotta have games. Android would be awesome, but it'd be hard to out Netrunner yourself, so that would be kind of. You know what I'm gonna pick an underdog here. I'm gonna go with The Crew, the Quest for Planet 9. I'm gonna choose that one because it plays great solo. It's an awesome card trick taking game. And I don't see anything else that I would rather have than that, and you might as well have a couple card games if you can when you go to the desert island. So I'm going to go with The Crew. I know, that's weird. What can I say? Mike Butterjelly is saying Osworn. Wise Guy is doing Kingdom Death Monster. And Phoenix Knight is doing... he's going to completely skip that section. Okay. 81 to 90, Clank, a deck building game. Aeon Zen, you know how much I love Aeon Zen. Fields of Arley, Beyond the Sun. Teotihuacan, City of the Gods. This is my section right here. Through the Ages, A Story of Civilization. Lords of Waterdeep, Dominant Species, El Grande, and The Voyages of Marco Polo. This section would be... I mean, that's my jam right here. I mean, Clank, Aeon Zen, Teotihuacan, Lords of Waterdeep, Dominant Species, and The Voyages of Marco Polo. I could take every one of those games. Now, which one do I like the most? Ooh, this is a tough one. This is really tough. This is really tough. This is really, really tough. Do you take Aeon's End? Because it plays great solo. You can play it solo. You can play it two-handed, three-handed, four-handed. Plays fine. But if you do you give up on Teotihuacan? You don't have a T game yet. You don't have a T game. You got to have a T game. You have to go to the island. You have to have a T game. Lords of Waterdeep, I mean, wow, that's a great game. Dominant Species. Voyages of Marco Polo, I mean, that probably wouldn't play great solo. It's more of a 2 to 3 player game, but it's still a great game. As much as I love Aeon Zen, as much as it's like my top 5 games of all time, I'm going to take Teotihuacan, City of Gods. Yes, I am. I got to go with the T game. Pawpaw, Waterdeep for me, says Pawpaw. Phoenix Knight. Wise Guy is also taking Teotihuacan. That's good. And I'm not sure what Phoenix Knight is choosing. If I had to guess which one I would take here, I haven't been paying attention to the last 2 years of my top 100 games of all time. I think you would choose Aeon Zen. I think is what he would be choosing. I think that's his long way of saying Aeon Zen. All right, moving on. 91. We're almost halfway done. Seven Wonders, Robinson Crusoe, Search for Planet X, Tainted Grail, Concordia Venus, Decrypto, Innis, Battlestar Galactica, the board game, Architects of the West Kingdom, and Tricurion, Legends of Illusion. I own this, but haven't played it yet. As I mentioned, I'm not a big fan of any of these games. I love Battlestar Galactica. It's one of my all-time favoriteest games of all time, but I'm not sure you can play it solo on a desert island very much. Never played Innis. Decrypto never played. Never played Concordia Venus. Never played Tainted Grail. Never played The Search for Planet X. So guess what? It's going to be Robinson Crusoe because, well, first of all, it's an awesome, awesome game. Plays great solo. So many different missions, different ways to play, different random. You're starting with different objects, which is going to change things. Your layout of your island is going to be different every time you throw in a couple of the expansions. Robinson Crusoe is, probably in the top 10 in a lot of people's list. 92, I think, is a little low. All right, so we're halfway done. We've got 10 of our games picked out. What do you guys think so far? Woo! Yes, Aeon Zen, I was right. Okay. Mike Butterjelly says, no question, Battlestar Galactica. A Wise Guy History. He also chooses Battlestar Galactica. Wow. Papa also, the three people selected I love Battlestar Galactica, man. I would have a hard time playing Battlestar Galactica on a desert island. All right, we're going on to page 2. Here we go. Next group coming up. The coconut is a Cylon. All right, 101. Carnegie, got it, never played it. Keyflower, got it, never played it. Dune Imperium Uprising, which is basically Dune Imperium. Raiders of the North Sea, Tigris and Euphrates. Revive, Age of Innovation, Callus, and Dominion Intrigue. And Lorenzo El Magnifico. Wow. There's a good section of games there. A lot of really good games. This is the one new, the sort of game that I don't own. I think it's the only game that he's done that I don't own. That's not true. I don't own the pollution one, whatever the hell the name of it is. I can't think of it. I don't own that game either. As much as I love Dominion and Lorenzo El Magnifico, I see a game that I really, really, really like and might be my game of 2022. That is Revive. I really, really like Revive. Plays great solo. Lots of variability in your setup and what you're doing. And it's one of these games. You put a card down to do this, which activates this, which turns this knob, which lets you get this, which gets you these resources, which you can spend to do this and do that. And you're doing all these things by playing one simple action. I love Revive. It's a great game. Really, really like Revive. And I think, again, it's a game that more people should play and get. And I love Dominion Intrigue. And I can't believe Dominion Intrigue is higher than Dominion, though. What's up with these people? I don't know. Let's see what we got in the chat here. Pawpaw says he's never played any of these. Daniel says Raiders of the North Sea. Mike Butterjelly says none. Wise Guy History says Tigris and Euphrates. And Phoenix Knight is going to take Age of Innovations. CO2, that's the one that I don't have, the worst sort of game. CO2, you're right. All right, moving on. Twas, I think that's how you pronounce that game. Twas. Eldritch or Scout. Dwellings of Eldervale, Momasa. Wingspan Asia, The Lord of the Rings, Journeys to Middle Earth, The Seventh Continent, The Sky Team, Twilight Imperium 3rd Edition. Ooh. This is an interesting one. We've already taken Wingspan. Well, we don't need this one. We've already taken Wingspan. We don't need that one. I think this is probably going to be a pretty... Twilight Imperium would be nice to have, but I mean, you can't go wrong with Elder Tor. You got to get Elder Tor. It's got to be the one. It's got to be Elder Tor. It's got to. Wise Guy History says The Seventh Continent, despite the fact that my wife and I eventually got sick of it. It was a great experience. No Lord of the Rings on the island. We need an app. We're going to assume that you have the app and it works. Phoenix Knight also getting Elder Tor. And Daniel is getting Twilight Imperium. Yeah. Twilight Imperium would be a great pick. And also, Lord of the Rings would be good. Again, assuming on your desert island you get the apps and everything that you need to play the game. And all the expansions. Alright, number 121. Clank Catacombs. The Quest for El Dorado, Russian Railroads Patchwork, Splendor Duel, Tajin, Darwin's Journey, Dominion, Final Girl, and Rising Sun. Wow. Catacombs, El Dorado, Russian Railroads, Patchwork, Splendor Duel, Tajin, Darwin's Journey, Dominion, Final Girl, and Rising Sun. You would think that this would be the easiest pick of all time because Dominion is my number one game. But the problem with Dominion, the only problem with Dominion is it doesn't play great solo. You have to two-hand it. I mean, the variability and the amount of different options you get with that game is just insane. I would say Dominion automatically by default, but here's the thing. Final Girl plays great solo, designed for solo. You get all the different monsters and heroes and adventure packs and get all the randomization going on that. You're going to get you thousands of different setup options, and every time I play Final Girl, it keeps moving up the list. Every time I play Final Girl, it keeps moving up the list. I really, really like Final Girl. I really, really like Final Girl. Do I like it enough to knock out my number one game of all time, Dominion? I think I do. If I'm going to a desert island and I'm taking all my 25 boxes of Dominion, what am I going to do with them? I think I'm going to take Final Girl. Dominion, if Dominion had a solo mode, I could sell every game that I have in my collection and I would just put them out in the street and just have a big sign that say free, come get this game. Because I could literally play Dominion. If it had a solo mode, I could play Dominion forever. But since it doesn't, I'm going with Final Girl. Which is the biggest surprise of my life. Because I love Dominion. I'm making the world's greatest Dominion tutorial to teach people how to play it. Alright, here we go. Wise Guy, Final Girl. Mike Butter Jelly says none. What's wrong with you, Mike? And Daniel says Final Girl. So everyone likes the Final Girl. I'm taking the Final Girl too, but man, how does Dominion, my number one? Age of Steam. I love my railroad games. Haza Tikana. Aeon Zen, War Eternal. Vinnos. This is another Visel Lacerda game that I don't own. I don't own this one. Ra Clank, a deck building adventure game in space. Iberia, Forbidden Stars, Codenames, and Champions of Midgard. I think this is going to be... It's going to be an easy pick for me this time. It's going to be an easy pick for me. Because I missed out on Aeon Zen the first time, I'm going to pick up Aeon Zen War Eternal. Because I missed out on Aeon Zen the first time, I'm definitely picking up War Eternal. I would pick up the Steam game, but playing those train games by yourself is so hard. It's just so long. I hear this is a really good one as well. I haven't played it. Clank in Space is a really good game. Iberia is a really good game. And Codenames is a really good game. Daniel says none. Wise Guy says Vinos. And Mike Butterjelly says Clank in Space. These are good choices. These are good choices. But for me, because I missed out on Aeon Zen, I can pick this up. Still get Aeon Zen. Get the campaign, the War Eternal campaign. It's still good. Still good. Nemesis Lockdown. Yokohama. The Isles of Cats Parks. A Roll for the Galaxy. Just one. Pandemic. Cartographers. Tarjan and Res Arcana. Ooh. That's an interesting group there, too. That's a really good one. Yokohama is a really good game. I got the deluxe edition, and man, these components are awesome. And I played it solo, too. I've never played Isle of Cats. I've never played Parks. Roll for the Galaxy. Okay, yeah. Pandemic. I mean... Talk about classic games, Pandemic. Cartographers. I love cartographers. Yep, you know what? I'm taking cartographers. It is a simple little roll and write, and I'm telling you what, this game really has me hooked. I really love it. In fact, I love it so much, it's literally sitting here on my desk, like 2 feet away from me. I happened to get this down off the shelf because I was thinking about playing this tonight. That's how much I love cartographers. So, yeah, it's right here, ready to go. And at a moment's notice, I can pull it out. That's the fun thing about it. It's like, boom, you're ready to go. You put a couple cards out, and you just start going. It's so good. All right, what do we got? Yokohama. Says Wise Guy. Yep, good choice. Mike. Nemesis. Daniel says Nemesis. I have Cartographer's app on my phone. Very easy to play and get into. Yes, I totally agree. And as much as I like Nemesis, Lockdown, mine's still... Mine's still in the shrink. See that? Mine's still in the shrink. So I haven't technically played this yet. One of these days. One of these days. Alright. 151. Raja of the Ganjas. Alchemist. Star Realms. Adrian's Wall. Watergate. It's a Wonderful World. Praga Caparine. Wonderland War, Kermit, and Ticket to Ride Europe. Yes, that is part of that. Ticket to Ride Europe is part of that. Wow, that's a good group, too. That is a really good group. Star Realms, greats. Again, We're assuming you get all the expansions and everything if you pick up the game. You're taking all your expansions with you on to the desert island. So with the Star Realms, you get the solo expansions. You get all the extra cards and everything. Praga Caparine is a super interesting Euro with deep mechanics, which is really, really good. I wish I owned Wonderland War, but it's expensive. It is super expensive. Like, I'm talking $250 to $300 expensive last time I looked. Whoa, it's $150. Yeah, if you want the deluxe first edition is $300. So yeah, it's an expensive little game. I don't own it because of the cost. Wish I did, but I'm going to pick Ticket to Ride. Gotta have a train game. I just played Ticket to Ride two-handed solo on my channel 2 days ago. I played the Poland map. I played the Poland map, Ticket to Ride Poland, on my channel 2 or 3 days ago. So I love Ticket to Ride. It plays fine solo. You can two-hand it, no problem. Ticket to Ride is the game. Wise Guy says Adrian's Wall, otherwise Watergate. Mike Butterjelly says none. Daniel says that he has only played one of them. Other than, I've only played one of them out of them, and that's Ticket to Ride. There you go. All right, 161 Tyrants of the Underdark. Sherlock Holmes, consulting detective. Stone Age. Terraforming Mars. Ares Expedition. Endeavor, Age of Sail. The Lord of the Rings, the card game. Magic the Gathering. Undaunted Normandy. Legendary Encounters? Are you kidding me? In the White Castle? Oh my god. This has got to be like the best group of games that we've come across in a long grouping. Oh my god. White Castle. We just played that 3 weeks ago, and it was super, super good. We've got Legendary Encounters, maybe 5 different games on my channel. We just started playing last week. We just started playing Undaunted series. Cracked it open for the 80th anniversary of D-Day and played Undaunted Normandy. And we liked it so much we ordered Undaunted Stalingrad and Undaunted Battle of Britain. And we've already played Undaunted Stalingrad on my channel already. The Lord of the Rings, the card game, maybe one of the best games ever in existence. Oh my god. Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, which is probably, in my opinion, the best of the Terraforming Mars games. Wow, what a group. Stone Age is a great game as well. Kind of a little bit older now. Jeez. As much as I want to do Undaunted, Normandy, I can't. I just can't. I haven't played it enough to really go, oh, this game is gonna last for years and years and years on a desert island. I played it a couple times so far, and it's been great, and I love it to death. I was gonna actually play a Stalingrad scenario tonight. Do I? What's going to beat it, though? Legendary Encounters Aliens are so good. It's so much fun. I just played tonight. I played Marvel Legendary tonight. I played that on my channel like an hour ago. I love Legendary. I mean, Magic the Gathering is a classic of all classics. I mean, it is collectible cards, which I've really gone against. Oh my god. What am I going to choose? I am actually going to choose The Lord of the Rings, the card game. Yes. This is... Yes, I'm going to stick with that. As much as I want to go with Undaunted Normandy to get an Undaunted game, I'm going to go with Lord of the Rings. When you add in all the add-ons and all the packs and everything, if you had the big box collection, like you would have so many scenarios, so many cards, it would take you 100 years to go through all that stuff. So I'm going to choose Lord of the Rings. Wise Guy says Undaunted. See, you're making me think twice. Mike says Alien. Ooh. Daniel says my kids love the terraforming, so I play that the most. But Pawpaw says Undaunted for solo. That's all those are really good choices. 166, 167, 168, 169. I mean, and even White Castle. I mean, you guys haven't played White Castle. I played it. This is how good this game is. It's sitting here within an arm's reach. Boom! I got it right here, White Castle. Because it's like, I just played it. It's right there on the thing, ready to go again if I wanted to pull it out. Let's move on. Viscounts of the West Kingdom, Marco Polo 2, Star Wars X-Wing Miniatures game, Glenmore 2 Chronicles Istanbul, War Chess, that's pretty clever, Zaya, Legends of the Drift System, Welcome to and Radlands. Well, this is not the group that was... The 160s were much better than the 170s. Way better than the 170s. I've actually been looking at picking up this game. I don't own it. I think it'll be a good game, so I'm looking at picking it up. Istanbul's a fun, interesting little game. You just need like 5 little rubies to win, or 7 rubies, whatever it is. And you're basically moving your little guy around, dropping a guy off each of the little locations as you move them around, activating the special abilities. There's a lot of really cool things to do in this game. Unfortunately, I'm going to go with Marco Polo 2 in the Service of the Khan. It's my favorite of this group. I'm not a big, a lot of these games I don't know much about, haven't played. Welcome to, I played once. Not that excited about any of those, to be honest. Istanbul's a great game. I could play Istanbul. Viscounts, no, none of those games are going to make it. I'm just, 170's not a big fan. Let's move on. 180s, maybe they'll get better. Blood on the Clock Tower, Dominion 2nd Edition. We got a chance of getting Dominion again. We got it. Too Many Bones, Jaipur, Unmatched, Chaos in the Old World, War of the Ring, the original, Earth, Great Western Trail, New Zealand, and This War of Mine, the board game. For me, this is an easy pick because I missed out on Dominion the first time. I'm not going to miss out on it again. I'm going with Dominion. If I had to choose a second pick, it would probably be Earth. Earth is a really solid game. Really good, solid game. I don't own the New Zealand. Do I own this? No, I don't own the New Zealand one. I own the other one. And this War of Mine is just way too damn depressing to play. Way too damn depressing. Mike says none. Pawpaw says none for him either. Wise Guy says War of the Ring. Pawpaw says War of the Ring. And Mike says This War of Mine. All right, last group. Here we go. Voidfall, Dune, Descend, Journey to the Dark, Memoir 44, Planet Unknown, ISS Vanguard, Welcome to the Moon, Azul Summer Pavilion, Cosmic Encounter, and the Red Cathedral. Wow. I have a feeling at some point I would choose Voidfall. I have it. It's still in the shrink wrap. I hear really good things about this game, and I think it'd be awesome. But I haven't played it, so I technically can't take it. I love Descent Journeys. First edition, second edition, third. I don't care. Give me any edition. But I think I'm going to choose Memoir 44 because we don't own a war game. We should probably get a war game. And if we're getting all the expansions and everything, we would get a whole bunch of Mediterranean, Pacific, all kinds of different units and different missions and everything. We'll take our war game, Memoir 44. That's the one for us. There you go. That is our top 200 games, broken down into keeping one of every 10 games. I'd like to hear your list down in the comments section down below. If you're following along, that would be awesome. Memoir 44 says Papa. Mike says ISS Vanguard. Wise Guy History says Voidfall. Yeah. I think eventually it would be Voidfall, but I haven't played it yet. I need to get it out of the shrink. I've got a bunch of games in the shrink that I need to get out. I think I need to get a lot of games out of the shrink. Cosmic Encounters. I love Cosmic Encounter, but it'd be a little hard to play that by yourself on a desert island. Well, that was a fun, interesting experiment. I think it went rather interesting. Great topic tonight, Jester. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Well, there you go. Let me know in the comments section what your 20 games that you picked from each one of those sections. And let me know which one of those sections was the hardest for you. I think the 160s was very hard, where you had Lord of the Rings, Undaunted Normandy, Legendary Encounters, Lord of the Rings, Terraforming Mars, Iris Expedition. That's like 5 good games right in a row. That was really tough. There was one other one that was really not very easy to do. See if I can find that section again. I mean, some of the sections were a little easier because some of the games you haven't played. And maybe you've only played 2 or 3 of the games, and one of them you really, really like. So some of them were kind of easy. That was interesting. Now, we need to do it with war games now. Break down, like, you can do Board Game Geek by classes. So if I just type in war here, and I go and say War of the Rings 2nd Edition, I can just go under the war, and now it'll just list all the games that are war games, and I can do the same thing, which I think would be really tough, because you got War of the Rings 2nd Edition, Twilight Struggle, Paths of Glory, like the first 3 games back to back to back. That would be pretty tough. Oh, and Combat Commander too. Oh boy, that would be really tough. That would really be tough. I know Paths of Glory is Wise Guy's #1 war game of all time. And I know Combat Commander is my #1 war game of all time. So, you got War of the Ring, you got Twilight Struggle. It's not as easy as you think. Not as easy. Sekigahara is number 6. That is surprising. That is very surprising. Imperial Struggle is number 7. Well, we will do it again sometime, maybe on the War Games section. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. I do appreciate it. If you've been following along, that's great. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And we'll see you all next time, my friends. Take care of yourselves. Have a great night. And we'll see you all tomorrow at 4 p.m. Wise Guy's going to be on with us tomorrow. 4 o'clock, right here. Wise Guy, me, talking back and forth. It's going to be great. 4 o'clock p.m. Can't wait. See you guys then. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.